What's up, Texas MTB? Today I'm going to be showing you guys the very easiest way to install a mountain bike tubeless tire. We just got this Maxxis tire right here, and these are sometimes a pain to install. So I'm just going to be going through the tricks that I've learned along the way, and maybe it'll help you guys out. So stay tuned. The way these tires are packaged up, just the way they're folded, makes it pretty hard to seat onto the rim. So what I've always done is just unfold it to its actual form, and then leave it in the sun for an hour, and that heats it up, gets rid of all the wrinkles, and then overall just seats into the rim a whole lot better. So let's do that. So while we're waiting on that to warm up in the sun just a little bit, I'm going to get started on the bike and go ahead and remove the wheel and tire. Alright, so with the tire off, we can tell this thing is pretty past its time, and it's quite the time for a new tire. So, yeah, this thing's pretty clapped. So now that your tires had time to warm up in the sun, it's time to go ahead and put it on the rim. I usually like to dry fit my tires without sealant, just to make sure they're going to hold pressure and everything before you waste sealant and make a big mess in your garage. So let's go ahead and do that and then see if it holds pressure and then add sealant and we're done. So it's also important to note that you want to have the tread facing the right way. So just picture the cassette is always going to be on the right side of your bike, right? So the bike would be going that way. So you want your tread to line up with that. See how it kind of points that direction? So you just want to double check that because your tires are made to perform that way and they just ride a whole lot better. So a lot of people are going to tell you you're going to need an air compressor, but that's not true. Just an ordinary bike pump will do the job just fine. Just follow the tricks about the tip leaving it in the sun. That helps out a lot. And then another thing that makes a huge difference is making sure that the bead isn't riding up against the edge. You kind of want it to just stay in the middle everywhere. So go around the tire, just give it a good squeeze everywhere, and make sure that it's in the middle of the valley of the rim, and that makes a huge difference. Alright, so the last step, you can see it's not seated at all, and I'm going to hit it with the bike pump. There's still no sealant in there, but we're going to dry fit it, make sure it actually holds air, and then we'll add sealant afterwards. So now it's time to hit it with the bike pump. Let's see what happens. There it goes. It's at 20 psi about. And next step, you just want to see that little line around there. You just want to go around the whole rim. Make sure that's exposed all the way around. If it's not, then that means it's not seated all the way, and you have to repeat this process. So I've tested it with no sealant and I can verify that it holds just fine. So now it's just time to pop the valve stem off of there, right there. Just pop that off and the bead is still there. And then just add your sealant in and then air it back up, and that should completely seal it when you're riding. Now finally, grab your favorite tire sealant, in our case ASB. It's always worked great for us, and they're local to Texas. They're in San Antonio. So it's just always good to support your local brands, and this is our favorite. So there's two ways you can add your sealant, one of which is popping the bead off and just adding some through there. And then another way is just by going through the valve stem. You just unscrew the valve core and then add it in through there without messing up the bead, which that way is pretty easy, but I prefer to do it this way. Alright, so one final tip. I've never really seen this explained anywhere, but to do this, you just want to kind of rotate the tire so the sealant goes into the part that has the bead on it. I can't really video with one hand, but you want the sealant to go like the part where the bead is, and then put that on the bottom and close the rest of the tire around. I'll try to get a tripod set up and show you guys, but we'll see how that goes. Just video the tire, not me. So you pretty much just want to hold two parts of the bead right there, and then see the sealant, you just want to roll that into there. That way it's completely sealed off at the bottom. And then flip your grips around and then just seal it off on the top. Sometimes help to kind of like work on one side of it, but then you have to make sure the other side doesn't pop. Just like that. And this does make a mess, so I usually like to work on this mat that's like a rubber, and it's just really easy to clean off of there, so you don't stain your driveway or something like that. Just something to keep in mind. My final suggestion is, if you're using the air compressor method, make sure you put this up to the top when you're filling it up with air. That just avoids making a huge mess with the sealant. If it's at the bottom, then when you shoot the air in, it just makes a big mess with the sealant. So always put that at the top if you're using an air compressor. If you're using the bike pump, it doesn't really matter that much. Alright, so that's going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, learned something along the way. These tips and tricks will help you out a lot. Just keep an open mind, give them a try, and it'll make the tubeless installation process a lot easier. So if you've enjoyed the video, just hit that like button. If not, no big deal, but subscribe, do whatever you want to do. We'll see you next time.